your responsibility at Jordan Road?
Well, I work not only at Jordan Road, I'm a district employee, and so I am the supervisor of special education, so I work in all three of the buildings. But I used to work at Jordan Road as the school psychologist.
Okay. What is your background in education?
I actually have a background more in psychology. I was a psychology undergraduate major, and I spent time after I graduated college doing a bunch of different things kind of related to psychology before I ended up going back to graduate school to become a school psychologist. So I've never actually been a teacher, but most of my experience in school has been under school psychology.
What is your suggestion for a 21st century student like me?
Suggestion for a 21st century student. I should do a little prep on that. Let's see. I think that, staying connected, staying on top of things, is a great way, and in ways that you guys can integrate technology into your learning, not just for having fun and having, talking on Facebook and all those sort of things, but really, I think that in today's day and age, I loved to learn, and I think if I was your age growing up in today's world, it would be so fascinating to be able to learn anything at the fingertips, because back then we had to go to a library or read encyclopedias, and it wasn't quite as fun as surfing the internet.
Okay. What are your goals for our schools, and where do you see us in 5 years?
The goals for our schools is I would love to see every student reach their potential and go as far as that they're capable of going. That's as far as where we see our schools in 5 years. I think we're on, in terms of technology, we are, I think, way ahead of the game compared to a lot of other schools. I get to go to meetings where I work with other people in other districts, and I think that as long as we continue on our path of really integrating technology and keeping up with our initiatives with having the MacBooks for every 6th, 7th, and 8th grader, I just see that going further. And one day I don't think that we'll be using textbooks anymore. I think everything will be on your computer or an iPad or some sort of technology.
Okay. If you could have lunch with 4 people, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Whoa, that is a heavy question. If I could have lunch with 4 people, all right, this is going to be like my girly one. Princess Diana. I grew up being a big Princess Diana fan, and I think that she, led a life. She was somewhat of a regular girl who led a life, very, very visible, very much high profile, but managed to do a lot of things for a lot of people, and really put herself out there, and I really respected that about her, and I think she definitely died too young, so she would be the one. Gosh, who else? Oh, this is bad. Who would I want? Benjamin Franklin. I've done, the Philadelphia tours where you learn about Benjamin Franklin, and I find him very fascinating. I think he was, considering the time that he was alive, he was very progressive and very forward-thinking, and I think he did a lot of great things for our country and certainly for Philadelphia, so he would be somebody I would want to talk to. Who else, dead or alive? I think I would like to, Bill Gates. I think I'd be interested in talking with him because he does a lot for education and he does a lot with his foundation in schools, and I would be interested to see what some more about his philosophies in education and all the money that he's put into schools, and see where he can go from there. And then who's the last person? Somebody, oh gosh, let me think. Who would be? I'll say our president, because I think that I'm interested to learn more about his background and kind of what drove him. That's a big part of my job as a psychologist, is getting kids to overcome, obstacles in life, and I'd be really interested to talk to him about how he dealt with some of the things like being the parent or child of a single parent, and being raised by his grandparents, and growing up the way that he did, being black in a white community, and how that kind of shaped him, and how that's allowed him to go forward and become very successful.
Okay. Do you have any advice for me?
My advice for you would be to, number one, surround yourself with good people, because I have a saying that you are the company that you keep. And so as long as you surround yourself with positive people that want to do good things and are good people, I think people, then, you know, for yourself, that's something good. I would say, you know, education. I'm a big proponent of education. I grew up, my parents, neither of my parents went to college, and really no one in my family did, and with my education is something that no one can ever take away from you. So I would say to pursue that as long as, you know, as long as you can, because once you earn those degrees, they're yours to keep, and no one can take them away, and it really opens up a lot of doors for you. And then finally, I would say, don't take life too seriously, because it can get very stressful, but you know, part of life is enjoying things and enjoying your surroundings and being able to travel and meet new people and see new things, and so I think that's important as well. Work hard, but also learn to enjoy the things in life that, you know, that we don't make money doing, but that we just grow as people.
Okay, now for the personal question.
Okay.
Where do you shop?
Where do I shop for anything in particular, or
Just
in general? Well, for clothing, I like to shop at the Gap, at Banana Republic, at the Loft. They're my three big stores, and Old Navy. I like Old Navy as well. And then I do, you know, ShopRite. CVS is my pharmacy. That's pretty much, you know, the mall, Target, big Target fan.
What's your favorite season?
Favorite season is summer. By far, summer. I love, love, love summer. Love the weather, and I love the beach.
What do you find to be the most important current event today?
Miss Mensch, if you're in the building, please come to the main office. Miss Mensch, please come to the main office. Thank you.
I mean, because I'm in it, I think education is probably the most important current event, and some of, you know, when we look at our schools as a nation compared to some other countries that are similar to us as far as our government and our population, I think that education needs to become, you know, a priority. I also think certainly our fiscal issues and our economy and the climate, and, you know, I think we've got a lot of issues, but to me education is something that takes priority.
And lastly, how do you feel about the Eagles this season for our sports section?
Well, I don't know if this is going to be popular to say, but my husband is a New York Giants fan, so he is. I grew up in Pennsylvania, but I was never a big football fan, and of course I liked the Eagles just because everybody else did, but really until I met my husband and learned a little bit more about football, I have to say, I tend to like to see the Giants win because then my husband's happy, and if my husband's happy, our house is happy. But the Eagles are having some problems this season, I think they need to change some things around, and I think Michael Vick needs to. They need a real quarterback. They need somebody who isn't going to get hurt all the time because he's running around and not staying in the pocket.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are welcome.